morning, class. This is Ms. Best. This video is on how to solve word problems. All of these word problems involve linear equations, so we've been practicing linear equations for the past week, and now you're going to apply them in some real-world problems. Along the way, I'm going to show you some techniques with underlining and circling that will help you decipher what the word problem is trying to ask you. Let's go ahead and jump right into the first example. It says angle EFH and angle GFH are congruent. The measure of angle EFH is equal to 3x plus 14, and the measure of angle GFH is equal to 9x minus 10. What is the measure of angle EFH? Alright, so I'm going to underline some important information. I see it says in the very first sentence that EFH and GFH are congruent. I'm going to underline that. Then it says the measure of angle EFH is 3x plus 14. Underline that. And the angle of angle GFH is equal to 9x minus 10. I'm going to underline that. Lastly, it says what is the measure of angle EFH? So I'm going to circle that part. Now, the underlining and circling just helps keep you on track and helps you organize your information. And then at the end, you can always go back to what you circled and say, did I answer that question? Did I find the measure of angle EFH, or did I find something else? All right, so now, the measure of angle EFH and GFH, they are congruent. If you don't know what congruent means, it means they are the same. They're equal. So that's going to help us build our equation. So if angle EFH is equal to angle GFH, okay, then their expressions are equal to each other as well. So I'm going to write that underneath. So now I'm going to just replace EFH and GFH with their expressions. Okay? Alright, so now I have 3x plus 14 equals 9x minus 10. Alright, so now I have a linear equation. I'm just going to solve for the variable x. So I'm going to get all my variables to one side, and then I'm going to use inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides because the 9x is positive, so the inverse of a positive number will be a negative number, so negative 9x on both sides. Alright, so these 9x's will cancel out, and then 3x minus 9x is negative 6x. That first step will subtract subtract 9x. Alright, the next step will be to subtract 14 from both sides. You see a plus sign here, so the inverse of addition is subtraction, so I'm going to subtract 14. So now I have negative 6x, the 14 cancel out, equals negative 10 minus 14, which is negative 24. Okay, lastly, I need to divide both sides by negative 6. The negative 6 and the x are multiplying. When they're side by side like this, they're multiplying. So the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by negative 6. Okay, negative 24 divided by negative 6 is a positive 4. Alright, so we have solved for x. Now, let's look back up at our question. Our question says, what is the measure of angle EFH? So did I answer the question? No, I haven't answered the question yet. I have to go back and plug in x so that I can find the measure of EFH. Alright, so EFH is equal to 3x plus 14. So now I'm just going to substitute in 4 for x. Substitute 4 for x. Alright, so now I have 3 times 4. Anytime you substitute something in an equation, use parentheses. Plus 14. 3 times 4 is 12. And 12 plus 14 is 26. So EFH is equal to 26. Now, if you need to rewind it or pause it, go ahead and do so. I'm going to go ahead and look at the next example. Next example, Martha wants to buy a new bike that costs $79, including tax. She currently has $15 saved. She began a dog walking business to earn the remaining money needed to buy the bike. She charges $5 for each dog she walks. What is the fewest number of dogs that Martha needs to walk to have enough money to buy the bike? Alright, so let's start by underlining our important information. Martha wants to buy a new bike. Costs $79. Alright, and that's including tax. Then it says she has currently $15 saved. Then it says she started her dog walking business and she needs to earn the remaining money. She charges $5 for each dog she walks. Okay, so that's how she's making money. $5 for each dog walk. And then finally the question, what is the fewest number of dogs that Martha needs to walk to have enough money to buy the bike? So I'm going to circle that. And so after we solve our equation, we're going to look back at that question and see did we answer the question. Alright, so she wants to buy a new bike. Bike costs $79. Let's write that down. $79 is the cost of the bike. She already has $15 saved. Okay, so that knocks off $15 from the 79. So 79 minus 15 is 64. Alright, so then she charges $5 for each dog walk. Well, we need to find out how many dog walks she needs to do. How many dogs does she need to walk? Okay, so that's our unknown. So X is going to represent dog walks. Alright, so now $5 for each dog she walks. And that needs to be at least $64. Alright, so now I have an equation set up. I'm going to use inverse operations. 5 and x are multiplying, so I need to divide both sides by 5. These 5 will cancel out, and now I have x equals 64 divided by 5. That's 12.8. Now, this is saying that she has to walk 12.8 dogs. Well, you can't walk 0.8 of a dog. Okay, so we're going to have to bump that number up to 13. Because if she walks 12 dogs, she won't have enough money. But if she walks 13 dogs, she will. So our answer is actually 13. Alright, so if you need to rewind the video, go ahead and do so. And stay tuned for part 2.